All right, welcome back to an episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight we're back for week 6 of college football. If you've been following along, you know we're going to make 10 picks this week. Punishment on the line at the end of the season. We are without Adam tonight, but we got his picks, so don't worry. At the moment, a little bit of a shift in the top of the standings. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. Totally free to you. Grow in the family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for what you do. Thanks for coming back for another video. Do like the video so that it becomes more popular for us. And as always, you can hit us in the comments. You know we will get back with you. Shift in the standings. A little bit of a wild week last week. Walked away 7-3. All three of you walked away 4-6, just with different guesses and ways that it fell. Really tight race though. 2 games separate the top and the bottom. 35-22 myself. Adam's 34-23, and then obviously both of you 33 and 24. So hitting the ground running. We got some good games this week. Starting with another noon game right here. 23 LSU. They're 3-2. They're at number 21 Missouri Tigers. They're 5-0. LSU is a 5.5-point favorite on the road though.
I'll start off on this one. I do like what Missouri has been doing. Their quarterback's been looking very sharp. They haven't really played very much good teams. I mean, I don't think their biggest test was maybe Memphis 2 weeks ago.
I'd say Kansas State for me.
Well, Kansas State was a good, yeah. So Memphis and Kansas State were probably the 2 toughest teams they played. So the other 2 wins have come against Middle Tennessee State, which is only a 4-point win, by the way.
Yep.
South Dakota, I don't know what that is, but anyway, and Vandy. So I know LSU's coming off that tough loss last week to Mississippi Ole Miss. That was a great game, by the way, if anybody got a chance to watch that. It was a fantastic game to watch. It was back and forth the entire time, just nonstop offense. I think LSU rights the ship and goes in. I think that offense is just too much for Missouri to handle.
I'll go next. I think you're right. I think for me, I'm really curious to see. I think this game goes one of 2 ways. LSU comes out slow, Missouri jumps on them and actually pulls away with the win. LSU comes out with an absolute fire in their belly after that tough loss last week to Ole Miss and probably dominates Mizzou by 2 or 3 touchdowns. So for me, I mean, Daniels is playing incredibly well. 16 touchdowns, 2 picks. This is a team with a lot of hype around them this season, and
you know,
an early loss to Florida State, and then another loss to Ole Miss, but big chance to bounce back here. And I agree with you. I think Missouri hasn't played a whole lot of teams, so I think Kansas State's probably the tough matchup that they played. So give me LSU.
Yeah, I'm gonna go LSU as well. I think this is a revenge game for them. Bounce back, early domination. They're just gonna run away with it.
Okay. LSU was the pick for Adam as well, so it's going to be a clean sweep on the picks. Game 2 here, we got 2-3 Purdue, who came out with an absolute blowout of Illinois last week. We had 2 teams picking Purdue. I was not one of them. They're at 3:30 on Peacock at Iowa. Iowa 4-1 this year. The only loss, Penn State, but they just found out this week.
Kate McNamara's got a torn ACL. He is gone.
Done for the year. So they're turning it back over to a quarterback, and how well can that offense play?
So because of that, let's go with the Boilermakers. Purdue all the way. Especially how they came out last week and just destroyed Illinois. I think they're going to come out and do the same thing to Iowa. Because Iowa's back to that same offense that only can put up 3 points a game. So
yeah, this is tough. I mean, Fresno State's a good team. Beat Vatech, beat Illinois, lost to Wisconsin, lost Syracuse. I feel like Purdue's played a pretty tough schedule.
Well, and Fresno State was a coin flip there at the end of the game too, and they're a top 25 team now too. So
yeah, this is hard. Yeah, you know what?
Iowa almost lost to Michigan State last week, which I almost called.
I'm going with you. I'm going to take Purdue here. I want to see Iowa prove to me that they have another quarterback that can officially run the offense and actually score the ball.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Purdue as well. I think Cade McNamara being out is gonna be the big difference maker on this one. Backup quarterback's coming in now, having the whole the weight on his shoulders. He should know the playbook and everything, but it's just the pressure and the environment. And of course, is he to the same caliber as Cade? Which I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so.
So Purdue's gonna get the win on this one. Of course, Adam went with Iowa, so he's the lone man out.
Yeah.
Gain that game back.
Maybe. Maybe. So I'll say this next one's tough for me because I own UCLA in our college pick'em, but. Washington State, number 13, 4-0 this season. 3 o'clock at UCLA, who's 3-1. UCLA currently a 3.5-point favorite on this one.
I start again too. I like how Washington State has been rolling. I think they keep that game rolling. I think you said it right last week. Cameron Ward is that guy.
Yeah, he's good. 13 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, he's that guy. I know they're going into a tough. Well, I shouldn't say tough environment because their stadium's an hour away from their campus, but so it's not really a tough environment. But yeah, I'm gonna go Wazoo here. I'm gonna go Wazoo to keep on rolling. I think they're gonna keep on rolling. I think they got something to prove with only them and Oregon State being the two remaining in the Pac-12 to figure out what's gonna happen with the Pac-2 now, the Tupac.
Yeah.
So I like Washington State here to go out and beat old Chip Kelly.
Yeah, this is so tough because I don't know whether to play UCLA this week or not. I'll say this about UCLA. The only thing that gives me hope about UCLA beating Washington State is how well their defense has played this season. 14 points to Utah, 7 to North Carolina Central, 10 to San Diego State, 13 to Coastal, who's a very good offense with Grayson McCall.
If they give up 35 to Pitt.
That's last year. That's the bowl game.
Oh, that's no, my bad.
Yeah. Give me Washington State though. I didn't pick them against Oregon State a couple of weeks ago. I regretted it. I think that high-powered offense. It's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good matchup.
Like you said, Cameron Ward's that guy, man.
He's impressive, dude. No interceptions in the first 4 games for them.
So I think the key maker in here for me is Washington State's offense is really explosive right now.
Yeah.
Passing the ball, throwing the rock all over the field, and UCLA's defense is good. I don't think they've played a strong enough offense yet, though, for the stats to actually indicate how good they are, or if they're just an imposter right now. But the key maker on that is UCLA's defense has allowed almost 70% of the yards through the air, and with Washington being a high-powered passing offense right now,
like that.
I think Wazoo is going to pull it out by just continuing to throw the ball downfield and hitting the targets. So Washington State.
So clean sweep on the Washington State here. Rolling into the next one, we got a big matchup here for Nick Saban. Revenge day for him. 4-1, number 11 Alabama, 3:30 game at Texas A&M. We bashed Texas A&M a little bit, but they're 4-1 to start the season, and their only loss against Miami. So this one right here.
Lost Miami too.
This one right here is the toughest matchup they're going to have in a couple weeks. So Alabama only a 2-point favorite.
They're playing at A&M.
They're playing at A&M.
So it's really what they're picking.
A&M is fitting the hype right now. It's also a Saban former assistant who has beaten Nick Saban at the head coaching position.
Right, Jimbo beat him last year, the year before.
Last year.
But yeah.
No, it was 2 years ago, I thought.
Didn't they stump him at the end of the? No, you're right.
2 years ago,
right.
yeah.
They stumped LSU last year.
Yeah. What I think is going to happen here, though, is Nick Saban's already dropped the game. He's not going to do it again. Like we said, me and Keith said in one of our earlier videos, it's hard to bet against Nick Saban, and I just don't see him losing 2 games in a season, with especially being the second loss coming to an assistant that he's recently lost to. So I'm going to go Alabama on this one.
Alex taught me weeks ago.
Yeah,
don't bet against Nick Saban.
I did it 2 weeks ago when they played Ole Miss, and I thought Ole Miss was going to go out and just school them, and Nick Saban came out there and showed you don't bet against Saban, you don't bet against his offense, you don't bet against his defense.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. You don't bet against his defense.
We're not saying he's perfect, but if you bet,
if
you bet with him, you'll win about 90%.
Yeah, you're going to hit about 9. Like Alex said, every 9 out of 10 you're going to hit. So yeah, give me the Tide to roll.
I think it'll be a loud crowd. If this was a night game, maybe I'd feel different about it. But
yeah.
For me, maybe this is the moment you and I have been waiting for that A&M gets exposed. Maybe Alabama wins by 30. Who knows?
Well, and A&M's also going with the backup quarterback too.
Yeah, but I'll say Max Johnson looked pretty good against Arkansas last week.
It's also Arkansas.
True. Yeah.
I hate to put them in there, but you got to keep talking about them right now when they're playing a close game. Colorado 3-2 on the road at 1-4 Arizona State. Things have fallen apart pretty hard for Colorado. They played a good game last week by coming back.
They had an opportunity to win that game last week.
Yeah.
They were in the game to win it. Now, they didn't win it, but they were within that game to win that game last week.
Yeah. So, Colorado only a 4-point favorite on the road at Arizona State.
I'm gonna keep rolling with Coach Prime here. I think Shador proved last week by going. Now, granted, USC does not have the typical defense that you want to see from a Power 5 conference, from a Power 5 school. But I mean, he Shador proved last week that he's still the guy there, no matter who he's got. Now they're a little hurt on the defensive side of the ball because I do believe Travis Hunter is still hurt. And Shiloh, last week Shiloh didn't play, so I don't know if Shiloh's going to play this week or not. But I think they're going to be able to get it done just with their offense.
Okay. I'm with you. I think I'll take Colorado here. There's nothing for Arizona that I see that's going to make me go the other way. I know they're playing the young freshman Rashada.
Whatever.
Yeah. Rashada. I guess that's how you say his last name.
Oh, yeah, the guy that left Florida State.
Or Florida. Arizona State, yeah. So, close losses. I mean, 3-point loss to Cal, 2-touchdown loss to, or 3-touchdown loss, sorry, to, no, 2-touchdown loss.
They got shut out by Fresno.
Got shut out by Fresno, who's proven to be a pretty good team so far.
Yeah, lost by 12 to OK State.
And OK State, yeah. So, give me Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado had a rough go with going, Oregon. And
USC,
USC, that's a 2-game stretch that's real rough. But I think we're getting back to the caliber of opponents that are equal to Colorado's level. But Colorado's just got Coach Prime and everything that he's brought to the organization. I think the Buffaloes roll this one through, so Colorado's going to bounce back, give them a nice little win, and move on to the next one.
Yeah, become 4-2, get one step closer to being bowl eligible.
Yep.
Okay. Newly to the Big 12, but 3-2 UCF right now is on the road at Kansas. It's a 4 o'clock game. What an odd time, honestly. But 4 o'clock game. 4-1 Kansas coming off that blowout loss to Texas this past week.
I wouldn't say that UCF is up to the caliber that Texas is.
No.
But yes, Texas definitely embarrassed Kansas last week. This is a tough one. I think UCF has proven to be a solid team. I mean, they played Baylor pretty close. They played Kansas State really close. Is Jalen Daniels, or not Jalen Daniels, I know his last name is Daniels. What's his first name?
Yeah, his name is Jaden.
Jaden, okay. I mean, he's healthy because I know he went out last week because he got hurt last week, didn't he? I think he got hurt in that game against Texas. If Jaden Daniels,
it looks like Bean has played the most. Yeah, he was not actually playing last week.
Yeah, I mean, so that's tough. If Jaden Daniels plays, I think Kansas has a shot at winning this game. But if it's Bean, I think UCF wins.
UCF blew the game to Baylor last week. Took a tough loss at Kansas State again. We've already talked about how good Kansas State is. So, for me, give me Kansas. I think whether it's Bean or Daniels, I think they're honestly just a little bit better right now than a John Rice Plumlee less UCF right now. I think obviously UCF built their team around John Rice Plumlee, and without him, I don't know that I have faith for them to go into Kansas and pull this one off.
I'm going to go with UCF on this one. I just think Kansas's win over Nevada, only by being a touchdown, that's a weak win, very weak win.
Yeah.
Like you said, UCF was hanging in there with Baylor. Kansas State, they were hanging in for how much of the talent was skewed towards Kansas State in that game.
Yeah.
I think UCF's got it right now, and Kansas I feel like they're almost kind of an imposter right now. They've caught the right 4 teams at the right time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with Alex on this. I think with the way UCF has been playing, especially with their offense putting up over 500 yards a game, and Kansas being susceptible to the pass, which is where UCF is actually pretty balanced when you look at the numbers. But Kansas is susceptible to the pass, and they've allowed almost 150 yards a game rushing, and UCF is averaging 255 a game. So, yeah, I think I like UCF to win this one, especially if Jaden Daniels is not going to be active. I know Bean is a decent quarterback, but I think it's a different team when Jaden Daniels is on that field.
Oh, I agree with that too. So, all right, rolling into the Fighting Irish once again in our pick'ems. Number 10 Notre Dame, 5-1 this season. Obviously, the only loss at Ohio State. Came off a come-from-behind win against Duke last week. On the road again at number 25 Louisville, who pulled off a big win at NC State this past week. Undefeated Louisville. Everybody was hyping them up, calling them an 8-win team, and
because they had a really easy schedule. That's why I bought them.
Yeah, and I'll be damned. Here they are. So, Irish are a 6.5-point favorite on the road at Louisville.
I'll keep this one off. I think Notre Dame is going to continue to roll. Ohio State, they're going to use that as their motivation for the rest of the year, especially with the crap that Ryan Day's been talking to Lou Holtz, and Lou Holtz is he is a saint in Notre Dame.
So he brought them their championship.
He is. I think Notre Dame's going to continue to roll. Louisville, what gets me is the North Carolina State game. Yes, it is a win, but a 13-10 win is just something happened there, and I think Notre Dame's going to be able to leverage that tape and figure out what got Louisville to be there. Yeah, of course, Notre Dame lost to Ohio State, but are we really expecting Louisville to be able to match what Ohio State did to hold Notre Dame to such a low point?
Yeah,
I think Notre Dame. I think the Fighting Irish get this one.
I don't love them going to Duke and having to have that touchdown with 30 seconds left.
To come back after you're leading the entire game, to come back and have to win it in the fourth quarter like that.
Yeah, I don't love it. For 2 weeks I've been screaming Notre Dame has the most balanced offense. They have not looked very explosive on offense the last 2 weeks. They played better opponents for sure than the first 4 that they played, but this scares me. This is a trap game for Notre Dame. If you are a Notre Dame fan, this should scare you a little bit. This is an explosive Louisville offense. I'm with Alex. I think that Notre Dame should and will win this game. But I'm going to say this. If they can't be balanced on offense and they can't control possessions, they're going to get behind the chains and they're going to have some struggle with Louisville.
I agree. I do agree with what you're saying. Notre Dame is still one of the most balanced offenses in the country.
Should be.
But yeah, I mean, they have been lacking the explosive plays here the last couple weeks, especially against Duke and the Ohio State game. Where they were leading and then they just gave it away there at the end. But I do like Notre Dame to win this game. I think they do continue to roll. I think with the addition of Sam Hartman, just makes them a better team. I think he's got more experience, especially playing in the ACC for the last 4 years. He's got that experience of playing in Louisville. So I think he can manage the game and control the tempo. But yeah, I do agree. I do see this being a potential trap game for Notre Dame if they get behind with how explosive Louisville is. I do think this could be a real scary game for them.
No. Rolling into the most bet cover so far this week. The people of America are behind the Kentucky Wildcats right now. Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite. Kentucky, number 20 Kentucky, they were screaming to be ranked. They went and beat Florida. Now they're ranked. They're 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. Georgia,
that's Florida.
5-0, 2-0 in the conference. We all bet Florida on the show last week.
We did, but Kentucky exposed Florida.
Yeah, well, it's kind of easy to do when you run for 300 yards.
Yeah.
From one player.
Georgia, of course, struggled against Auburn last week. Auburn that starts to get people a little bit.
Auburn looked like Auburn of 2010 against Georgia last week.
Yep.
Auburn looked good.
I think Georgia gets this one. I don't think they cover though. I think it's going to be another closely matched game where everybody's like, okay,
like that 6 to 9 point victory.
Georgia keeps squeaking away with these wins, but are they really that dominant of a team?
Yeah. Alex with the people of America. I'm with the people of America too. I don't think Georgia wins by more than 2 touchdowns. I think they win, but I don't think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, give me UGA to win the game. Again, like you guys are saying, I think this is going to be like a 6 to 9 point game.
This is a week. These games that we're going through, I feel like there's definitely an upset waiting in this.
Yeah, there's an upset walking around.
And
the problem is I mean, Kentucky's so dependent on the run right now, and Georgia's run defense is very, very good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a matter of how many plays can Stoops come up with to expose their secondary, like South Carolina was able to expose them a little bit.
Yeah.
How many deep shots can they take and actually connect on before Georgia has to kind of back off?
Yeah. 2 games left. We got Syracuse at North Carolina. This is another 3:30 game. 4-1 Syracuse, 4-0 North Carolina, number 14 North Carolina. Syracuse, not the way they wanted last week to go.
Not at all.
No.
But North Carolina, a 8-point favorite right now at home.
Somebody that watched that Syracuse game,
yeah,
I think they've got no shot against North Carolina.
Wow.
If they play like they did against Clemson, just turning the ball over, making stupid mistakes.
And the
Syracuse, on your own side of the field, like
Syracuse receivers just struggling to make a catch.
Yeah.
Dropping balls are hitting them in the numbers. I mean, and now they're going on the road, so I hate to see if it's going to get worse now that they're going to.
And they're playing a much better quarterback too.
Yes,
like Drake May is a much better quarterback.
Yes.
He has a couple of good receivers. I mean, I like North Carolina in this one. Syracuse, I think, got exposed last week. I think they shot themselves in the foot, and they're not going to be able to bounce back from it. Not this week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week or the week after, but not this week. Not against a talented North Carolina team.
Man, this is tough for me because like I said, I think this is a week where there's some trap games going on, and I feel like Syracuse is one of these that, yes, they played very bad last week versus Clemson. Clemson's defensive line dominated Syracuse. North Carolina does not have that same style of defensive line. And so I'm interested, can they move the ball, control possession, and be the Syracuse that they've been the first couple of weeks. But
that's
right now,
depends on which North Carolina team shows up.
Yeah.
If it's the South Carolina North Carolina team, they're going to dominate Syracuse.
Yeah. If it's the App State North Carolina team,
it's going to be a shootout.
There's a chance. Right?
Yeah.
But North Carolina has looked really, really good these last couple of weeks. Drake May, not the guy that North Carolina wanted. Yeah. Like, this is not a guy that's out here slinging 30, 40 touchdowns this year.
He's only thrown five touchdowns
to 4 picks. Yeah. So.
Well, he threw 2 against South Carolina. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not been the Drake May that he was last year.
No.
He's not doing himself any justice in his draft stock.
All right. So a clean sweep on the North Carolina. Adam taking North Carolina as well. On to the last game. We got College Game Day. We got the Red River rivalry. One of the best in the freaking business, dude. I love this game so much.
Your heart.
It really is. Like this is a game I have to go to before I die.
Oh, we definitely need to go.
Half the stadium crimson and cream, half the stadium burnt orange. Like, and it just makes it better when there's 2 top 12 teams going at it. So you got number 12 Oklahoma, 5-0, 2-0 the conference. Number 3 Texas, 5-0, 2-0 the conference. Texas right now 6.5-point favorite. As the big dogs, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what Texas has been doing. I think Texas has proven to be a very solid, well-rounded team. I mean, with what they did to Bama, in week 2, and also last week, playing Kansas very well, beating Baylor, holding Baylor to 6 points. I do like Dylan Gabriel. I think Dylan Gabriel's a fantastic quarterback. He's put up better numbers this year than Quinn Ewers has. But I like Quinn Ewers and that Texas offense over Oklahoma.
Okay. So I'm going to go off of an old thing that we used to say all the time about Britt Venables. When he was a Clemson defensive coordinator.
Old burnt vegetables.
He's calling them burnt vegetables because if you actually looked at the stats against top 25 teams when he was at Clemson, they were not good. The defenses were not that
Horrible.
good. They haven't run across a team like this season. This is going to be their first test. And it doesn't help that I think Quinn Ewers has hit his stride. Dude is steamboating right now. He is moving through, and I think they're just going to roll right over Oklahoma.
Yeah, this was a 49-0 game last year. Texas.
Texas
49-0. There's got to be some fire in Oklahoma right now to try and make that back. I'm gonna say this: I watched SEC Now today. They went into the press conference for burnt vegetables. That is a guy that, in my mind, the way he was speaking had already made up his mind he was losing this game, right? And don't get me wrong.
He was already playing to defend the loss.
He was already defending how good Ewers and Brooks and Xavier Worthy and this Texas defense and the big win and how Texas is going to be playing 3 ranked teams in 5 weeks. Like, Oklahoma has put up a lot of points this year. I mean, 73, 28, 66, 50. I agree. That's my next point, right? They've played nobody. There's no way I can take Oklahoma in this game. I'm always the guy that says, prove it to me first. And so for me, I think I'm joining the boat here. It's going to be Texas. It's going to be the burnt orange. Do they win by 6.5? They should. They should if their defense shows up and plays. But should be a good game, too. I mean, it's the Red River rivalry. It comes down to it.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, that's our Week 6 picks. Hit us in the comments. Let us know who you think's winning some of these games. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.